Where one seeks to perform measurements of devices in a superstrate configuration, that is to say, for example, a thin film deposited on a glass substrate with the electrodes both on the inverse side from the optical input, one should use the superstrate chuck. The temperature-controlled vacuum chuck should be disconnected from the motorized XY stage, and here we have placed it to the side, the far left of the PVE 300 box. In that manner, we do not have to disconnect the water cooling circuit. One should be careful, of course, that the pipes of the water cooling circuit do not impede the movement of the motorized XY stage. The superstrate chuck can be mounted on the motorized XY stage in this manner and fixed in place at each corner using 4 M2.5 screws. The superstrate chuck allows one to mount samples from the inverse side. The superstrate chuck is designed to be used with 2 different magnetic-based probes. These probes can be mounted from the upper face and equally from the lower face. In that manner, one can measure not only samples with 2 rear contacts, but samples with 1 front and 1 rear contact. Each probe is fitted with a needle contact, the height of which can be adjusted as required, and the probes have also X, Y, Z micro positioning facility. Electrical connection to these 2 probes is made from a side connector port, and for each a cable with a small connector terminating in a BNC connector is provided. These 2 probes should be connected to the auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2 left-hand BNC ports on the rear connection panel. The other side should be connected to a cable provided having 1 BNC connector to input to the 497 preamplifier and 2 BNC cables to connect to 1 probe through auxiliary 1 and the other probe through auxiliary 2. One can, should one wish to mount large samples, remove the central metal bracket, replacing it with a larger support and using clips provided to hold the sample in place. Otherwise, for smaller samples, one could turn the chuck upside down. A probe on a spring allows for holding the sample at the level of an aperture through which light will pass. And then one can mount the probes as required. In this manner, one can mount the sample, position the probes as required, and turn in the correct orientation for measurement. To one side of the stage is a position at which to position the reference silicon or germanium photodiode. A cover fills this place, in the meantime giving a suitable surface on which to place the magnetic probe. Removing the cover allows one to mount the reference diode from underneath.